Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Paul. Today I've come down my local creek, about a 10-minute drive from my house. Now, it was a bit of a mission to get down here. Every single road down here was blocked and flooded, so it took me quite a while to actually find a spot I can record at. But today we're going to check out the Bushman's 85 litre upright fridge, see whether I'm still happy with it and whether it was a worthy investment. Alright, let's get to it. I absolutely love coming out here. One of my last free campsites left along this Row Creek here. I'll take you up, have a quick look around and we'll get into the review. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know that 5 months ago, up in the corner there, I did an installation video on the Bushman's 85 litre upright fridge. Now, I didn't want to smash out a review straight away. I really wanted to test it out first to find out if any pros or cons before doing the review. As a lot of you are aware, previously to getting the upright fridge, I had a King's 60 litre chest fridge with the Clearview easy slide drop-down fridge slide. Now that drop-down fridge slide was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. It was so easy to bring out in and drop down. I could do it with one finger. It was great. Trouble is, that weighed around 45 kilos. And by getting rid of that fridge slide, I have saved 45 kilos out of my car. Now, I've got a really old car, so every single kilo helps me with my power. That was my main reason I changed. And also, while I was at camp, I was getting sick of pulling the fridge down. Quite often, you'd stack your drinks down the bottom and your food up top. You don't want to get your meat crushed by the drinks down the bottom. So you'd always have to dig through everything to get your drinks. And it was quite annoying, whereas this, I can just open it up, grab the drink I want, done, shut the fridge. Next thing I want to cover is power consumption. That's something I was really worried about. So I've been testing that for a long time with my battery monitor, and I'm pleased to say it only uses probably 1 amp per hour. As long as you have this thermostat turned right down to 1 or 2, it uses hardly any power. The thermostat hardly ever kicks in, but if you bump it up to 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7, you will really notice the power. It'll start chewing 7, 8 amps per hour. Next thing you have to consider is the insulation. As I covered in the previous video, you can't just throw it on top of your drawers, strap it down and away you go. This requires a custom base or the box, which is around $500. So it's not easy to set up in your canopy, but once it is, it's perfect. The seals around the door have been absolutely perfect compared to my last fridge, where it didn't have much of a seal at all. Even the handle is quite sturdy as well. It's just a piece of plastic that bends over and just clicks into this top ridge here. And as simple as that. That seal is pretty hard to break, to open again. So the compressor hardly ever kicks in. You can see how fat this seal is. And it's probably about 10 mil thick as well. So huge seal. One more thing with the thermostat. You don't need to run it past 2 or 3. I run mine on 2. My beers are always nice icy cold. So I don't run it any higher than that. If you run it much higher than that, things start freezing. Especially if you put stuff on this top shelf here. This freezer isn't insulated at all. So anything you put on the top shelf is going to freeze. This bottle of water here, it's just a solid block of ice. Because I put it under the freezer, that's one negative, that you can't really use this top shelf here. And also be careful, we stacked this fridge when we went away for a week once. We absolutely chocked it full. We had a big pumpkin here. And during the trip, over the bumps and that, the pumpkin moved and actually turned the thermostat right up to 7. So we were absolutely chewing through the power, even though the freezer isn't insulated, and I really wish it was. The freezer itself is still really good. Door stays open. Comes with this little ice tray here with a lid on it, so you can fill it up and don't worry about having to freeze it first before you drive. The water will not fall out of this ice tray here, so that's a pretty good idea. The freezer itself is big enough to be able to fit a couple of ice blocks or a bit of frozen meat. I'm quite happy with the freezer. You have to be wary of the shelves. They do slide reasonably easy. I've actually pulled mine out and bent them slightly so they're nice and tight, but quite often you'll pull up, if you've been on a tough track or anything like that, you might have cans of Coke or something that have fallen back behind the shelf. The shelf will slide out and whatever you got there will slide back and be bloody annoying. One thing people were commenting when I first bought it, ain't worried all your food's going to fall out as you're driving along. Well, it doesn't happen that often. Like I said, it does fall back behind the shelf, but I've had nothing fall forwards. If you are worried, there are little containers and everything you can buy where you can stack everything neatly in containers, which you've probably seen other people do. But these shelves here on the door are really handy. I like the idea that you pull your cans out. If you've say got a 2 litre milk, these sections here, you just slide this divider along so it fits your whatever you've got perfectly, locks it in, isn't going to move. One thing I do so my beer cans, everything don't slide around everywhere, I make sure I stack the shelves full. So I'll fully stack one shelf before I move on to the next shelf, and that stops anything from moving. With these doors, one thing they could have improved is if these shelves were modular. If you could lock them in at different points, so that if you had something bigger or smaller, or even if you got, say, a bottle of water, you can't put a bottle of water in the top shelf, you can't close it. So if you could just drop that down a bit, you could fit more in that door. 5 months in now, am I still happy with upright fridge? And if I had the choice, would I go an upright fridge or a chest fridge again? Well, I reckon even if I had another car and could choose again, I would still go the upright fridge, just because it's more convenient. I was tired, like I said, of digging down through the fridge, whereas this is just so easy, just to open up, grab what you want, it's right there, close the fridge, shut the canopy, and away you go. Another thing to mention is the weight of the fridge itself. It's only around 18.5 kilos, so it weighs nothing at all compared to my last fridge, which was around 20 kilos, plus the 45 fridge slide. So 65 kilos down to 18. So I've saved weight dramatically. Just like I've changed batteries, I had 90 kilos of weight and now I've gone down to around 20, so I've saved 70 kilos in weight. So the last couple of months I've reduced the weight in this car by so much, and it's handling so much better. One more positive about the shelving. If you've got something tall, say a bottle of wine or a 2 litre bottle of Coke, all these shelves lift up at the side here, so you can stack something really tall there and still have your shelves in there with all your food on the side. If I could change just a couple of things on this fridge, it'd be absolutely perfect with no issues at all. This shelving, like I said, it'd be nice to be able to adjust this shelving, insulate the freezer so nothing's going to freeze underneath it, and protect this thermostat with a cover so nothing's going to bump up against it and freeze all your food or thaw it all out and your trip's ruined. One more thing people complain about is the price. Now, if you consider you're going out and buying an Engel fridge or an ARB fridge, anything like that, you're going to be paying over $2,000. This fridge here, 85 litres, and it's around the $1,200 mark. So I think it's great value, and you can actually fit more in this fridge than you can a chest fridge. It's more usable space, and overall, I'm really happy with it. I want to continue using it. I'll never use anything else now. But if you've got any more questions about the fridge, don't hesitate to leave a comment. If you found this video helpful, leave a like. And if you haven't already, if you enjoy these kind of videos, please consider subscribing. It really helps my channel. But thanks for watching the video, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers!